If you do the setup in this exact manner, you should be able to isolate this bottom arm. So see how I'm bringing my knee to the floor here? Allow me to bring this arm behind my thigh in a sense, okay? Now, if it happens that the hand is on the front, which can, in sparring or whatever happens, the arm is on the front. So if this is the case, you can also use your knee on the top of the bicep, pull a little bit to take the grip off, and then you can bring your knee back so you can then again start to isolate the arm behind your thigh, okay? I like to do this because now I have a clear path that I can start to kick my leg over, okay? Now the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna change up the grip with our hands. So I'm gonna go and slide my hand down to like the little meat underneath his pinky here, like this, and pull that back. So I'm pulling this wrist back, so I'm bending it back here, and I'm giving this grip to the other hand here, okay? Very nice little grip, very handy, especially while I'm now free to use my other hand to block his legs. Just make sure you're keeping this hand tight to his chest here. So you're always like bending the arm and keeping it tight. Now I can use the other arm here to block his legs. Again, giving me a clear path and throwing my leg over, okay? And what you will see is, as I go over here, I'm now gonna let go of his palm, and I'm gonna go and grab my own thigh, and trying to catch his wrist in the crook of my knee, okay? My leg that flies over is now gonna go and slide to the side, so I let the sole of my foot go off the floor, and I'm just pointing my heel towards the other knee, okay? We're gonna go through the finishing mechanics in a bit, but I just want you guys to get to this position and then stop, okay? So, we got this far. Slow that down just slightly. We're going down to the palm, giving to the other hand. Now I'm free to use this hand to block his legs, because one of the things I'm afraid of is that he catches me in a half guard, okay? Now I have to work around that. It's not the end, but I'd rather not. So here, blocking his legs, I'm now able to time it well, pull his arm. See, I'm leaning my way towards the left leg so that my right leg becomes light and I can kick it over, okay? In the beginning, you might feel a little bit like this, and that's fine. Just take your time. Eventually, you get some speed and momentum, and you can catch it quite efficiently, okay? So, see how my goal is to catch his wrist in the crook of my knee, and I'm letting go of his palm and grabbing deep onto my thigh here. I want my wrist to be right on top of my thigh. That way I'm not bending it underneath his elbow, okay? So up here. Turn it a little bit around. So we got this far. Boom, switch. So grab the palm, give it to the other hand, push his legs down to the side, so I can now kick my leg over and then catch his wrist in the crook of my knee. And once you're here, we'll talk a little bit more about it later, but if you need to, you can base out with your hand. You can also base out with your leg, okay? 1, 2, the Tarikoplata. But now it also kind of gives him an easier way to sweep me down, okay? So if he grabs my belt, for example, see how he can toss me over this way? We'll deal with that in a second. Or if I go too far forward, he might also tip me over this way, okay? So go back here, boom. So what I want to do now is to step forward and bring him flat to the floor, okay? So when I have my foot all the way over here, my hand all the way over there, now try to sweep me anyway here. See how it's heavy? I'm keeping also my weight right on top of his shoulder, so I'm heavy on top of him, okay? Very common mistake is that we slide off. So now I sit up against me. See how he's still able to come up. So I want to be on top of his shoulder / chest and basing out wide so it's hard for him to swoop me. Now, what I'm trying to do here is to rotate his shoulder. So I'm going to bring his wrist down to the floor and bring my elbow up, creating the rotation, and then nice and slow so he has time to tap, okay? The problem a lot of the times is that if his hand is on his belly, it's going to be really hard to create this rotation. So I need to bring his hand away, and then I can start rotating, okay? So see how I'm going to use my big butt to get his wrist away from his body, and then I can start rotating to get the finish. Other way. So we got this far. boom, here, and throw over. Now, this is not the only way you can set it up, but this is the easiest way I can teach you to begin with, and then we can look at the different variations there, okay? When we get here, again, if he's on his side, my base is compromised. I need to go flat, boom. Now he tries to pull me anywhere. It's difficult, perfect. Time is good. Time means I can adjust. I can get my arm deeper if I need to. I can make sure I'm closer to his wrist with my knee. So that's a good positive thing, right? So here, I'm gonna bring his hand away from his body so I can start creating the rotation. So his hand is on his belly, go back there. Pull. Really hard to finish, right? So I pull myself forward using my free foot, my free hand to bring his hand away, and then rotate, okay? Just make sure we go nice and slow. There's some dads in the crowds with really stiff shoulders. The only exception is actually Gaurav.
I was going to ask, what are you going to do? What people with no ass do when they don't have ass to put weights there? Gaurav asked me.
Yeah, Gaurav, I might have to make a new technique.
Please, the Tarikoplata.
So let's go to the other side here. Boom. Here, we switch the grip. We threw the leg over. Now, make the person go flat. Base out with the left leg. Base out with the right hand. Pull the arm away from the body. And imagine the ribs is like a slide. You're gonna slide down the ribs to bring the arm away from their body. So, boom, here. Then we can rotate, get the finish. 1, 2, the same setup, boom, here, switch, and get to the position, to the Tarikoplata, okay? Once we're here, my goal is just to maintain the position. I'm not trying to finish Ayub. I'm not gonna crank his shoulder in any way. Quite the opposite, I'm just controlling, okay? So this is forcing me to then dynamically move my legs, my hand, and constantly keep my base here, okay? Now, Ayub, on the other hand, is gonna try to grab my belt, for example, pull me down this way. If he does that, he wins, and then we start over, okay? Or maybe he pushes me the other way, comes up, he also wins, right? If he, I don't know, catches my leg in between his legs, that's also a valid escape. So his job is to get out, and my job is to maintain and also watch out so we don't crash with anyone else around us, okay? So he has my back, he's looking this way, I'm looking this way. If we're crashing, I just say, stop, okay? Sometimes I'll just do that because I'm almost losing the position. So, 1 minute each, and then we'll continue on. 1, 2. In the case where, let's say Ayub is connecting his hands together. So, what you'll notice, if his hands are up here, now, I'm a little bit off the mark, so my knee is not capturing his wrist, okay? So what I need to do is, 1, bring my knee to his wrist, so I have a good connection here, which creates better leverage to pull the arm. But also, what you will see is then my butt is gonna come on the inside of his arms here. So I'm on the inside of the circle, okay? So now, when I'm sitting here, I'm able to create pressure on top of his wrist to pull his arm away and break the grip. So, if my butt is here, it's very hard to push anything. But as soon as I do this, I actually have his wrist with me. So, if I'm back here, now bring your hands together here, Ayub, and then pull it a little bit higher to your chest, just like that. Yes, perfect. So, here, back, and then sometimes you need to adjust it, make your hand deeper, and now I should be able to pressure it out and then get the rotation. Okay? Small detail. So what's gonna happen now is that either I fall backwards like this, okay, or let's go back. I fell forward and rolled into this position here. Okay. Now from here, what we're gonna do a forward roll and come back up into this finish. Okay. Let's go a little bit to the middle. So. We're here. I was quick. He grabbed my belt. I fell down. Now when I'm here on the bottom, I have to make sure I'm still capturing his wrist and controlling his arm here, okay? The way I'm doing this is I'm pointing my heel up towards his head. This makes sure that I'm still wrapping his wrist here, and if I open this up, his hand will most likely slip out, okay? So, keep this pointed up. Left leg is gonna be religiously straight, or like raw spaghetti for my Italians over there. So you wanna keep this leg all the time straight over the head, okay? Now, if he postures up, do like a big posture up here, you'll see how he picks me up with him, right? What I don't want to happen is if he postures up now, my knee is kind of bent, he turns towards me, and then I lose the angle entirely, okay? So if I keep this leg straight, my connection to his shoulder with my hips is really good. So now he postures up or tries to go anywhere, I'm tight to him, okay? Now from here, we do the forward roll. And when I'm doing the forward roll, I'm gonna keep my heel close to my thigh. I'm now forcing him to roll to my left while I'm stepping on the floor, and then he falls, okay? When he falls over here, I'm now gonna use the leg that's behind his head, which I created like a pillow for him to sleep on. I'm gonna step on the floor, pull myself around, and then I'm back up in the same position, going for the finish. So let's do it this side. I roll forward. So I ended up on the bottom, making sure I have pressure behind the head, and my heel is pointing up towards his head here. The other hand here, I like to grab his pants, or you can just grab the ankle as well. This will allow me to slow his roll, okay? Especially if Ayub is a quick kind of guy. See how I can slow him down, right? Or maybe he's a really slow guy, and he tries to stay behind. So then I have to give him a little of a push, and I can use this hand to help him over as well, okay? One more time, just go back. What you will notice is this is the most common thing people do, is bring this leg out. So keep it there the whole time. So when he rolls, he'll have a pillow to sleep on afterwards, okay? Important detail. So once I'm here, I'm gonna now use my toes on the mat to help myself up on my knee, and then I can roll my other knee to the mat and push myself up with my hand and come back into the same position. Let's do this side. Here, point up, grab, roll, try to step on the floor so that when he falls, he slides beside my leg. Okay? Push on the floor, push, and we're back. One more time. Let's try that. 1, 2. Technically wrong to do it this way, it's just harder, okay? So it will require more momentum, and sometimes you might have to do a roll again if the guy is countering or moving around. So what I mean is this. If you pull your leg out and you end up here, if I have enough momentum, this is great. I'm still in a good position. But if you're here, and then you have to start creating speed from here, you see what I mean? And by that time, Ayub is probably all the way here, right? So then, I will turn around a little bit. Sorry. So by the time I'm coming up and he's coming up, I will have to come back underneath to do another roll. Okay, this time I did it differently so I could catch him. So, it's not technically wrong, but I suggest you do the other way, as it will give you more time and easier time coming up as well. Yes.
You don't get your hand out and you still got the hands, can you still finish it?
Get the hand. If you
Like if you don't get your hand onto the leg and you still, it's like trapped.
underneath. So if that's like earlier stage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this is not too bad, right? If you weren't here and your hand is still under
Yeah.
like this, right? So what I would suggest, because most likely he's going to be pulling this arm to him, I was just falling down to this side, and as I'm falling, I will create space. So I can then come back into this. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I can adjust and get my hand through, and then again go for the roll up to the top. And do it down. Finish. Okay. So we're gonna do one entry here from bottom. Starting from the double under. I mean, there is still a few souls out there that do double underpasses, but definitely not here. I think that's Feeble's fault because he never teaches this.
Probably.
Probably. So double under is, I mean, it can get pretty bad if he connects his hands and get this tight. See how he can toss my legs to the side and then he's pretty much passing me. If I'm a little bit early here, I can look to shoot my hand through and under his armpit here. So see how I'm connecting myself to his shoulder, bringing my right arm under the same side armpit, and I'm on the inside of my thigh, coming here. Okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect my hands together here and use my elbow to push his head away. Okay? You can also use your hand like this, that's fine as well. But personally, I feel like this is much stronger and it's a better structure. So here, I'm gonna push his head away until I feel I'm able to bring my left leg over his head. And I'm gonna keep looking to pull his arm towards me. As I do that, I will flare open my right knee so I can now catch his wrist and then create a little bit of a chicken wing here. Okay? When I have the chicken wing, you might notice I have the wrong arm through the loop. So I'm gonna go and bring my other hand through and catch my thigh. And then, voila, we're back in where we started. Can do the forward roll and get the finish. So, from the double under, he shoots his hands under my thighs. I feel like, oh shit. If it goes too far, like this, you see how there's no space? So then I might have to work out like this until I can get my arm through, okay? Once I get my arm through, imagine you're kind of like connecting your elbow joint to your hip. So if Ayub tries to pick me up from the floor, it's quite difficult for him to do so. I'm connecting myself underneath him. So here, my hands go together, I push with my elbow, so I can get his head away from me. So I want this arm, I don't want his head. He's maybe too good looking actually. So here, now I can start isolating that arm. See how I'm gonna slide my knee down, and then as I do that, his elbow will pop up and slide towards me. Okay? From here, if you feel like it's very difficult to feed this arm through, imagine like turning your body a little bit towards your right, giving you more range of motion to get this hand through, okay? If you're all the way here, it feels a little bit chunky like this, so you want to be like that. As I'm here, you might notice with especially like a resisting opponent, they will probably pull this arm quite tight. So then if you're just trying to like feed the arm through the loop, it's quite difficult. So I suggest going with the C climb grip, which is connecting, or S grip, connecting your fingers like this and then pulling the other hand through the loop. Then I can grab my thigh and we're back. This side. Okay. Boom. Come back here. So in here, shoot the arm through. Connect, push the head away, isolate the arm, create the little chicken wing. Now looking to switch my hands, so I'm going to pull the other hand through and grab my thigh. Grab my pants, boom, back where we started. One last time. Here. And finish. That's right. 1, 2. Stay in the position. And 2, try to make Ayub roll so I can get to the top and finish the Tarikoplata. Okay? Now again, we're quite many on the mat, so make sure we don't crash too much. So, if I can get him to roll, and I can come up and finish it, I win. But if he manages to pull me down again, I'm back where I started, and that's fine. You just continue until the round is over. Okay? Now, Ayub, on the other hand, he's trying to actively get out of here. So he can, for example, look to bring his head on the inside. Now that complicates things, right? So now I might have to change my guard completely. Or maybe he tries to get the knee on the inside of my leg. This is also a very valid defense from his side, okay? So I'm actively making sure that if he tries to bring that knee over, I'm blocking that. If he tries to bring his head over my thigh, I'm keeping this tight behind his neck. So we're always looking out for all the counters that or escapes that he's trying to do, okay? So that and trying to get the roll. And then 1 minute, and then we switch. Okay, 1, 2, let's go.
It's filming just the pilot.
Yes.
Easy way to not lose your foot, like the one that's out in front. It's quite easy to just
Grab and push it off. Yeah. I mean, easy for you, but for us. So, okay, yeah. If I'm the one on bottom, and yes, so Ayub is pretty strong, and what he's trying to do is this, right? Now, the key detail, if we go back, is if I can turn like the inside of my knee, like this, see how I can keep like some pressure here. Now, if he tries to grab it, it's harder, and also if he does grab it, like it's not like a good pressure for or a good angle for him to push off. That makes sense. But he might grab it, and then as I'm here, I'm just continuing the pressure behind his back or behind his neck. So then I can still do the roll. The problem is if he can posture up. So if he brings his head up, then this happens. Okay. Not to the end of the world. You might just, close guard. So that's a safe option. Or if he grabs it, maybe you can kind of like kick your leg out and then toss it back over. So that's another one. Or if you catch his neck, triangle is also a valid option. No problem. Other questions? Go ahead. Yep.
What should you do as the guy who's defending it if you are able to get removing height?
If you're able to get it down,
Yeah.
actually, that's not my favorite defense because if you do it to me, because see how this is what's stopping him from rolling me. So when I do this, I kind of like fold, and then I'm rolling. So if we go back, so what I like to do here is actually get my knee inside. So this is the best defense for this, I think, at least. So from here, now it's going to be hard for him to roll me this direction. I'm able to posture up, maybe even pass from here.
How do you do that with him shoving you in?
So just look at my knee. I need to go inside. Of course, if he's doing a good job, good luck. And it's a fight. Other questions? More how to defend against it questions? Okay, so we're gonna do one last one. And then I will just summarize and thank you guys for the whole year and all of that. But once we get to the position from the double under, there is a thing that he can do, and that is posturing up from this. So if he brings his knees tight, creates a base underneath him, see how Ayub can now posture up and pull me off the ground. Okay? Remember I talked about being religiously straight with this leg, or like spaghetti, raw spaghetti? Now it's a really important detail. Okay? So when he postures up, I can then follow him and tip him over backwards. So to do this, I'm now making sure my hip is nice and tight to his shoulder. And then when Ayub postures up, I'm going to come up on my elbow and the side of my head. Okay? You can even use your knee on the floor as well. Just make sure you don't let go of the wrist. So you'll see how I'm almost like a stick, a straight sit. Okay? Don't bend, don't go underneath the person. That will make things really hard. So if you just stay straight here, it should make things a lot easier. What I'm also looking for is a little bit of an angle from his body. So if I'm very close here, it feels kind of hard to tip him over. So I got to create a little bit of a vacuum, moving my head back. Now there's some space for him to fall into. I'm going to straighten this leg over that space and bring him down. And then we're back to the finishing position. So same setup, nothing fancy there. So you guys don't get too confused. Now he postures up. He brings me off the floor. See how I immediately, if I'm grabbing his pants, I immediately let go and I bring my elbow underneath me. So he's going to posture up. Boom. Then I can now bring my leg forward and make him fall to this direction. If my head is too close, it feels kind of wonky trying to get him this direction. So then I move my head back if I need to with my elbow as well, so that there's space in between us. Let's say more than 45 degrees, then you should be good. So here, boom. We can go for it. Yeah, bam. Neck. Keep postures up. Elbow. There you go. Let's try. 1, 2.